You are really not ready for this one, because this story sounds unreal. It sounds like something someone would make up just to shock people on the internet.
This story begins with a man named James. James is 55 years old and lives in Colorado. On the surface, he seems like a pretty normal guy, but James's personal life is anything but normal. James has a wife named Suzanne. However, James and Suzanne are also in a long-term romantic relationship with another man named O'Neill. The three of them are together. They all live in the same condo, a full-on thruple. For a while, that arrangement appears to work, until one night in 2023, when everything changes.
All right, another round?
That night, the three of them are home at the condo,
Yeah, good times.
partying.
Cheers to that.
They're drinking, using substances, and generally going far past
You're
moderation.
killing it.
Best night ever.
Eventually, O'Neill lies down on his air mattress on the floor next to James and Suzanne's bed, which is where he normally sleeps, and that is the last time O'Neill is ever seen alive. The next morning, Suzanne wakes up and looks down at the floor. O'Neill hasn't moved. She immediately feels something is wrong and tells James she thinks
Hey,
O'Neill
wake
is
up.
dead.
Can you hear me?
James
not
checks for a
responding.
pulse.
Oh, God.
There isn't
Come on.
one.
Hey,
he
wake
attempts
up.
CPR, but it's already too late. O'Neill is gone. James wants to call
I'm
the
calling
police.
the police.
Suzanne
No,
refuses.
you can't.
She tells
We
him
have to.
she's not
Please,
ready to
no
let O'Neill
police.
go. And instead
We
of
have to
calling
call
911,
911.
they make a
No,
decision
we
that
have
will
to
haunt
hide what
this story
happened.
from that
Hide it.
moment
Are you
forward.
serious?
They do nothing. They leave O'Neill's body exactly where it is, lying on the air mattress next to their bed. Not long after O'Neill dies, a Social Security check arrives in the mail. It's made out to O'Neill. And that's when James and Suzanne realize something
The O'Neills
chilling.
have money?
No
Yes,
one knows
they do.
O'Neill
And we
is
can
dead.
spend it.
And
We
as
can
long
spend-
as no one
I got the
knows,
O'Neill's
those
card.
checks will
We
keep
can use
coming.
it.
They already have O'Neill's debit card. They already know his PIN. So they deposit the checks into his account and start spending the money. Online shopping, bills, internet, and insurance payments, convenience store runs. O'Neill's money quietly becomes their source of income. All the while, O'Neill's body is still decomposing in their bedroom. And eventually,
Wait,
something
don't go
else
there.
No,
notices.
stop. We can't go in.
James
back,
and
never again.
Suzanne
Stay out. It's not
own
safe.
8 chihuahuas. At some point, the dog starts sniffing around the bedroom, around the air mattress. One day, James and Suzanne hear strange noises coming from the room. When they go to check, they realize the dogs have started chewing
Oh
on
my
O'Neill's
God,
body.
they're eating
This
him.
is the moment
We
you would
have to get
expect
out of
everything
here.
to stop. You would expect them to finally
Quick,
call
cover
the
it
police.
before they get to it
They
again.
don't.
I'm trying.
Instead,
These dogs are
Suzanne
relentless.
deflates
Shoo,
the air
dogs,
mattress
get away.
and throws it over
Quick,
O'Neill's
cover it
body
before
to
they get
block
to
the
it
dogs
again.
from getting to
I'm
him.
trying. These
And, unbelievably, it works. The dogs stop. The bedroom door closes. And life goes on. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into more than a year. For 18 months, O'Neill's body remains on the floor of that bedroom, hidden beneath a deflated air mattress. During that time, James and Suzanne steal more than $17,000 from his bank accounts. No one reports him missing. No one comes looking. Until someone finally does. O'Neill has an estranged brother. He hasn't spoken to O'Neill in a while. But after repeated unanswered calls and messages, something doesn't feel right. Eventually,
find
he
my
contacts the police
I'm
and
worried
asks
he has
them to
been
do a
missing.
welfare check. Police go to the condo. James answers
are
the door.
looking
Here's where it gets
James.
strange.
Yes,
O'Neill's
I'm
full
James.
name is James O'Neill. The officers believe they're speaking to O'Neill himself. James realizes this immediately and doesn't correct them.
Your
He tells
family
police he
is
wants
worried
nothing to
about
do with
you.
his family
I don't
and
wanna
asks to
see
be
them.
left alone.
I wanna be left
The
alone.
officers leave.
Plus,
Later, police show the brother their body cam footage.
That
The
is
brother
not
watches it
my
and immediately
brother.
says, "That man is not his brother." Police return to the condo. This time, James and Suzanne admit they know O'Neill but give conflicting stories about where he might be.
What do you need to know?
There's not enough evidence to arrest them yet, but suspicion is growing. The brother refuses to let it go. He calls Suzanne and tells her that O'Neill has an inheritance waiting for him. Suzanne is suddenly very interested. She claims O'Neill is with her but doesn't want to speak.
Okay,
The brother
sending the
asks for
security
O'Neill's social security number and banking information so he can transfer the money. Suzanne gives it to him. Then the brother tells her O'Neill will need to show up at the bank in person to claim the inheritance. Suzanne stops responding. Using the information she provided, The brother checks O'Neill's bank accounts. He sees Social Security checks still being deposited. He sees constant spending and ATM withdrawals. He takes everything to police. Investigators trace the debit card usage to a local 7-Eleven. Surveillance footage shows James using O'Neill's card. That's enough. Police get a warrant and return to the condo. Suzanne meets them outside. When officers say they're going in, she doesn't resist. She simply tells them O'Neill is in the bedroom, dead, under the air mattress. James and Suzanne are arrested on the spot. They haven't gone to trial yet, and all of this remains alleged. But both of them have admitted to large parts of what happened. For a year and a half, they lived with a body in their bedroom. They stole a dead man's money. They pretended everything was normal. And somehow, for 18 months, no one knew. Oh, and subscribe for more incredible true crime stories you won't believe are real.
The story for now. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the darkest, truest true crime cases out there.